I want to welcome the fourth debate. So please, let's join our hands to welcome our schools, Liceo Tadeo Perry Barnes de Valle and Colegio Alborada de Coyhaique.
We can classify the privacy into the corporate privacy, the privacy of the territory, and the privacy of the means of communication. And the last one is the most controversial point. So far, we can say that the private life and the media has a strong relationship. And the most of the time, the private life of the people is violated by the media, which wants to inform to the public at expenses of the personal life. I want to come back with the legal terms. Do you know when the private life is violated? First, when the information has a secret character that belongs to the owner. Second, absence of consent from the person that owns the information. And finally, when there is damage because of the intrusion or exposure of the information. I want to conclude with a quotation that Mr. Gopal Subramaniam, Senior Counsel of India, said, "Privacy and liberty is not a right in a gray area or a twilight zone. This is the heart and the soul of the Constitution. It is not just a common law right." So, which right is stronger than the other? For us, it is the right of privacy. Thank you for your attention.
Proposing team. Would you prefer to be misled? Should we assume that your team prefers to know just one side of information? The one that is permitted by society? Would you like to be informed and we able to make wise decisions in order to contribute with your country and even more with yourself? Why do I start with these questions? Because we feel that being against the prevalence of information these days is a matter of pastimes. Pastimes? How important to be mentioned, right? There are no secret for anyone here that nowadays we are able to communicate what we feel and know what situations of any kind happen around us more than we were able to in the past. We want to see it clear that we have grown so much as a country in this matter, and that's because of the right of information without a doubt.
Why the right of privacy should supersede the right of information? So, my dear opponents, listen to me very carefully, because maybe you will not have certain arguments to debate with us. Well, first of all, I would like to remind all about what is the right of privacy. Privacy is a human right recognized in the UN Declaration of Human Rights in the International Convention, civil and political treaties. Privacy underpins human dignity and other key values such as freedom of association and freedom of speech. Therefore, it doesn't matter that as a community we need to be informed. What really matters if the person wants to reveal that piece of information. Finally, Jean-Michel Jarre expressed once, saying, "You don't care about the right of privacy because you have nothing to hide." It's no different to saying you don't care about freedom of speech because you have nothing to say. Teachers, audience, members of your opposition team, for your attention, thank you very much.
As Brenda just said, I would like to start with a brief analysis of our society these days. And I would like to say this because we believe it's a result of information. Why do I say this? Today we get great amount of information about almost everything. It's just a matter of looking it up on internet and that's it. If not, we have media, and we all know that media plays such an important role nowadays. Because we can be aware, prepared, well-informed, and critical about a considerable number of aspects that affect us directly as citizens of this country. Let's continue this journey where people of this country is progressing, expressing their ideas, being critical about what is right, informed for a collective well-being, and that's important. Giving prevalence proposing team to information instead of privacy is meant for a common well-being and not for individual interest. Thank you very much.
We listened very carefully to your first arguments, which obviously are consistent because we need to be informed and we have this right. However, don't be blind. Our government and the media makes us believe that they don't hide information. And that is why sometimes they make public some information that attempts against the right of privacy. But come on, you know that it is solely for satisfying our necessity to have information about what is going around. That sense of knowing everything. But as my partner said before, when the right of privacy attempts against them, they use it to favor them. So they are always manipulating the information. Opposition team, judges and audience. Have you ever thought about how erupting the right of privacy can affect people's lives? Have you imagined the reactions and thoughts when a video without the permission of a famous person comes up? The damage that you cause using memes about their lives that they didn't want to publish? Well, if you don't know, in March there was a video about Karen Paola, a popular girl that was in Mecano and in a Mega TV channel. Did you see the video or pictures about it? In case you don't know, this was a tremendous problem for her because she had to suffer jokes in the social media, comments and opinions, and was extorted for these criminals that hacked her mobile phone. She and her family were in silence for about 2 months. Do you think that this is relevant for the public? Of course not.
Information is a source of collective well-being. How is this concept related with the right of information and privacy? It is fully related because nowadays we just stop living as individuals, or at least that's what we're trying to do. What I'm talking about? Here's an example. Do you know that we were taken as an example for other countries, which still suffer the consequences of privacy involved in public matters and so many other aspects in life? In fact, Colombian television came to the city and record a documentary about how great we are in public politics and transparency, that we all have access to relevant information, so we can live in a rightful society. This is nothing but an example of a consequence of the right to information. If you don't believe me, search for this documentary. It was transmitted by CHB. Maximiliano, you spoke about photos and videos, but we don't want to know information for fun. We are speaking about something deeper, which is security and even more, common health. Proposing team, we understand that privacy is an important matter when we speak about information. But if you take into account the examples that we have just expressed, having a clear view about what our society is like nowadays, we can't give prevalence to privacy anymore. Has this prevalence be absolute? Probably not. But when it comes to the prevalence of a collective and common well-being, of course it has. Thank you very much.
The concept of privacy, the threat that it suffers, and the means for achieving it are changing the result of our lives based on technology, and in the last decade, because of the social media. Privacy, we must consider as a fundamental human value which helps the citizens being free and to preserve their private experiences. I want to finish with a quotation of Steven Spielberg. He said, "Internet is watching us now. If they want to, they can see what sites you visit. In the future, television will be watching us and customizing itself that it knows about us." Thank you for your attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a time that we have to take advantage to the opportunity to bring information to our society and for us all as citizens of this country. We must express ourselves in order to stay strong and fight for what is right for every person in Chile. Proposing team, this is the last question we will love you to answer. Will you prefer to live without any of this information? Will you like to live under inequality so the prevalence of privacy gets privileged information and a special treatment to one group and not for all of us? Can you just think about it just for 1 second? Thank you very much.